Welcome to my opinion. This little video is going to be about my right and your right to carry a firearm and our rights to be able to defend ourselves, to protect ourselves. A lot of politicians and these superstars like Robert De Niro and Matthew McConaughey, politicians like Joe Biden, uh, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, uh, and some Republicans as well, you know, try to limit our ability to be able to carry firearms while they may not carry themselves, but they're surrounded by people who have guns. You know, Secret Service, armed bodyguards, private security details. They live in gated communities protected by people with guns. You know, they're such hypocrites. Just like after the Capitol riot thing, they immediately threw up walls and fences, even more so around the Capitol. Nancy Pelosi being one of them, calling for that. Meanwhile, they're telling Trump that, and the rest of us, that walls don't work, even though they have in history. The Great China Wall, the Berlin Wall, etc., etc. But, it's nice. If someone asks you, why do you carry a gun? Just tell them, because I can't carry a cop. It would be nice to have a private security detail follow you around who are armed and be able to protect you. I'd like to see some of those politicians and celebrities like Robert De Niro get rid of their armed security before they start telling us that we shouldn't be armed. Look, I get the whole thing of trying to keep dumbasses from getting guns. I agree with that. I think there's a lot of people out here, too many people out here who are running around with firearms and are just idiots. But I'm not an idiot with a firearm. And I don't care what my government or what Robert De Niro says about me carrying a firearm. I'm going to carry a firearm. I'm going to protect myself. I think it's hypocritical for those people to tell us we don't need guns. You don't need an AR-15. Yes, you do. You actually do need an AR-15. Colion Noir has a video why you need an AR-15. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It's really good. He did a good job. Going back to the Second Amendment, that's why you need an AR-15. That's why we should all, according to the Founding Fathers, this is probably what they would say. That's why we all need an AR-15 to do what the Second Amendment was written for. The sole purpose of the Second Amendment, to defend our country against a tyrannical government, our own government, if need be. A lot of liberals think, oh, that's radical. Oh, no, it's not. It's constitutional, is what it is. Dummies. It's called the Federalist Papers. It's what the Founding Fathers wrote and said to each other. It's in the Constitution. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Doesn't say you have to carry muskets only. It's the guns of the day. Of course, it was muskets back then, but the guns of the day today are AR-15s and Glocks, or any other pistol like Glocks. If the Second Amendment was written so that we could defend ourselves against a tyrannical government, then wouldn't the founding fathers, if they could come back to life today, said, well, of course you should have what the government has. How are you going to fight a tyrannical government if you don't have what they have? But anyway, this is more about self-defense, and that is a self-defense against a tyrannical government. Oh, that's silly. We live in a democracy. Yes, we do. And maybe that's because we told a king once upon a time to kiss our ass and picked up arms and fought against him. And here we are today. But yes, we do have not only the right, but the responsibility to keep and bear arms. And let's be honest, we're not Canada. We're not Australia. Those countries have 30 million people. Stop comparing them to us. We have over 340 million people. We have a shitload of crime. If you're not carrying a gun, you're at the mercy of criminals. And I've seen it way too many times. Those anti-gun people, those people who criticize or make fun of gun people or preppers. Next thing you know, you got your gun on you? Something happens. You got your gun, right? I've got a couple of friends who are very liberal talking about building a bunker and being preppers. Reality has started to hit for some of these people. They're starting to see, what can happen in a riot. You need an AR-15. What if you're at home, sitting at home, and Black Lives Matter decides to burn your town down, Antifa, and starts walking through your streets? Remember how they threatened to walk through white neighborhoods? Racist pieces of shit. That's racism. In case you didn't know, that's racism. When you're picking a certain race and you're telling them you're going to walk through their neighborhoods and do things to them, you're a racist. If something like that happens, you're going to be glad you have an AR-15 and hundreds of rounds and about 10 or 15 magazines ready, loaded, just in case. Not that that's ever going to happen. Oh, wait a minute, I'm sorry. Oops, it did happen. A lot. In a lot of cities. To a lot of people. Dozens of people died because they weren't prepared. They couldn't defend. Back in the LA riots, the only businesses in LA, in certain parts of LA, that didn't burn to the ground were Koreans. Do you know why? During the LA riots, the Koreans' businesses didn't burn? Because they stood on the rooftops with guns. They actually shot at some people, protecting their livelihood. Anyone in this country, in this day and age, who doesn't carry a gun, you are just like the moron in the Old West who walks into Deadwood, Abilene, Tombstone, without a gun. Walks into a saloon and doesn't expect bad things to happen. You're at the mercy of those who do have the guns on them and are bad people. I mean, I don't want to be in a cowboy movie, but at the same time, I don't want to be, even more importantly, I don't want to be in a cowboy movie with no gun. That's crazy. Bad things happen to good people. The Dalton gang, as well as the Jesse James gang, was fought off by the townspeople when they were trying to rob a bank. The law couldn't hardly catch them at all. I think they lost 2 or 3 of their people in one botched prison bank, or a bank robbery trial. I forget where it was at. I think it was Dakotas maybe, or something like that. I forget. It was the people defending their livelihoods. Defend your livelihood, defend your family, and defend yourself. You have the right to carry a firearm. But be safe with it and learn what you're doing. Otherwise, don't carry it. Don't be a dummy carrying a gun. If you're going to do it right. Like, share, and subscribe, and remember to carry a gun safely. Be safe, stay safe. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.